Hello YouTube, it is Katie. Today for my video, it's just sort of a chill sort of video. We're still in quarantine, as you know, and I'm just gonna give you a couple of my tips that help me get through the days and help me be productive throughout the days. So, yeah, that's what I'm gonna talk about today. Okay, so my tips, they sort of are like a bunch of tips that like mold into one big one, if that makes any sense. Like I could say tip 1, tip 2, tip 3, but at the same time they all sort of make one big tip. Does that make any sense? I don't know. But basically the very first thing I always like to do is make a schedule, and I make my schedule way earlier than I actually do things because then you feel motivated to do things, you know? And so schedules, you can do that either on paper. A lot of people like to do it on paper. A lot of people like to do it on your phone, you know, that kind of thing. And just making a schedule, getting your life sort of organized, making things that you have to do in there. And when you have it all on a schedule, you don't have to think about them, you know? You don't have to go, oh, I have to do this at this time, this at this time, this at this time. You just look at your schedule and go, oh yeah, right, I have to do this today, you know? So making a schedule is the first thing that I love to do, and what I love to do is check everything off my schedule. You know, like if it's on paper, you cross it out. If it's on your phone, you know, you have like, here, wait, I'll show you my little schedule. I have my schedule right here, and so what I do is I can tap the little boxes, you know, like here. You know, like I can tap and untap the little boxes to make them appear and disappear, etc., etc. And so you can just, it just is so satisfying like ticking each of them off. So yeah, I make a schedule. That is the first thing that I do. After the schedule, what I like to do is schedules, you know, sometimes you want to follow them, but other times, sometimes I find it really troubling to actually follow my schedule. And that's because you look at it and go, ugh, I don't want to do anything today. And you just kind of let it go, you know? So what I like to do is I like to sort of make little rewards for myself, if that makes any sense. I say I'm going to do this much on my schedule, and then I can do something different, if that makes any sense. So you can make your reward anything. You can say, I can eat this because I love food. Or you can say, like, what I do is I go, oh, if I do this, I can watch one episode of this on Netflix, or that kind of thing, or read this much of my book that I want to read, you know? So I do that. I say, for me, at least, I have to complete 10 things on my schedule before I can read or watch or do something like that, and then another 10 things, etc. Now, I'm not in school. For those of you in school, it's honestly hard. Like, that's probably why you're watching this video, to be productive. And yeah, it's tough because you've got to study for this, you got to study for that. You're just sitting at home the whole time, right? So what I do, at least for study sessions, this was big when like university finished, and I guess it's sort of gonna get big for high school students if they do exams online. While studying and doing work, you do, or like homework or anything, you do a certain amount of time, break yourself for a certain amount of time, depending on what kind of person you are. If you're a person who can get a bunch of work done in this long period of time and would rather like have 3 or 4 hours just to study, do it that way. If you like the little like hour or half hour study, this kind of break, then do it that way. But always have little breaks in between when you're studying. And those are like timed things. So like, let's say if you're doing a long time, you do like, I don't know, like a 3-hour study session, and then you can get like a half-hour break and do whatever you want. Go on TikTok, watch Netflix, you know, eat what you want, socialize, you know. And then, or you can do sort of like do half-hour, 45 minutes of work and do like a 5-minute break kind of thing, you know? So that really works well. And then it also ticks even more off your list to get stuff done. And yeah, another thing that I like to do is combine activity with non-activity. And this works really well for me because, again, I'm not in school, so I don't really have too many school sort of related things. If you're in school though, it will help a lot because, y'all, it's rough sometimes. So on my schedule, I'll have things like because for me at least, I still do my acting classes and everything. I'll do my acting class homework or write this down, or depending on what I have to do that day, of course. And then other things are like go on a walk, go do some gardening, you know? So what you should do is always have activities on there that are consumed like at a desk, like my desk is right there, at a desk, and have some activities that are outside or doing something like workouts. A lot of people are doing workouts now because they're like, oh, what are we gonna do now? Like, you know, exercise is a thing. So what I like to do is put them both in so that when I'm completing them, and I can do it in any order. I'm not as crazy to go like down the line. Like you can do that. Like that's fun too. But I do them sort of just in a weird order, whatever I feel like doing. And I combine my activities with like doing something strenuous brain-wise at a desk, and then doing something else like filming one of my dance classes that I have to film for quarantine, you know? So yeah, that's how I work. And so it's easy, it's better actually that way, because then you get both, best of both worlds, you know? You get like the strenuous, then activity, then the strenuous, and then you're not just sitting at a desk all the time. So if you're studying, especially if you're studying, make sure you have something on your list, like go out for a walk, take the dog for a walk, do a workout, you know, that kind of stuff, just to fill up your time. So there's sort of just two more things that I like to do. First, and they kind of like play into each other. So the first thing is having a sleep schedule. And sleep schedules are very good because, first of all, I bet you almost everyone is going to bed at like 5 in the morning and waking up at noon. Just putting that out there. And I am definitely a culprit at some time during this quarantine. And honestly, it kind of sucks doing that, because you wake up and at 12, you don't feel like doing any work. Don't even say that you do, because you don't. Everyone knows that when you wake up late, you just don't do work, and you just feel like you've wasted your whole day. And because work, I don't know, like work just works well in the morning, you know? And at night, you're not going to do it at like 4 in the morning. Then you're like, oh, what, am I cramming for a class? No, let's just watch Netflix, you know? And then also, you're just like tired, and when you get back to your regular schedule, you are going to be so screwed. So what I like to do is make a sleep schedule. I say I have to get ready for bed at this time. I have to go to sleep at this time and wake up at this time every day, so that I can healthily get back into a routine where I can get up, get out of bed, and, you know, actually do something in the morning, you know, because in the morning you wake up, you're refreshed, and you're like, you see the sun outside, and you're like, wow, I'm ready to do work. So yeah, I do that. And the last thing that ties into that one is having a time to start and stop your work. So for me, at least, I cannot get up and get right out of bed right away. I just can't. It's just not a thing. I always go on my phone. You know, like TikTok's a thing. Yeah. Guilty. And yeah, you just, I can't do that. And after a while at night too, I'm like, ugh, do I have to do any more work? Like, ugh, this is so annoying, so strenuous. And then right after I'm done my work, oh, let's go to bed. No, that's not how I work. So what I at least like to do personally, you don't have to, but personally, one thing that I really like to do is make a time to wake up, and then sort of add an hour onto that, and then the same at night. So I will say like, oh, for me at least, I wake up at 8 a.m. or 7:30, depending. And I won't actually get out of bed until 9 o'clock, because I literally can't. I can't open my eyes and pull off the covers and just go. I open my eyes and like, yeah, let's grab the phone. Oh, look at this YouTube video, you know? So I have to have some time to actually, like, for me, get up. I'm a night owl, so early mornings, I'm not always the cheerfulest person in the world anyway. So it's good to like actually get to wake up, you know? So yeah, that's what I do in the morning. And then at night, I have to finish all of my work by 9-ish, 10 o'clock, depending. And after that, I promise myself no more work. And that'll also help motivate you, because you get up, you're like, oh, look, I can do this for a while. And then it's like 9 o'clock. Oh, let's go. And then at night, it's like, oh, I only have to do this for this much more time. And then I promise myself I'm not going to do any more work. I'm just going to relax, have fun, etc. So yeah, that is how I live my quarantine life, my quarantine schedule. And I hope that helped you in any way possible. with your quarantine life and quarantine schedule. And yeah, I will see you next time for my next video, which I have no idea what it's going to be about. I feel like I'm losing content, honestly, being at home all the time, but we'll figure it out. So yeah.